What's up, YouTube fam? It's your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times, and I'm back with another video. In this episode of Hood Tales, I'll be telling the heartbreaking story of Zanelle Tucker, a 30-year-old mother of two who senselessly lost her life after she tried to break up a fight during a gas station brawl. Before we get into this video, welcome if you're new here to our channel. Please feel free to subscribe. Click that notification bell to get notified every time we upload. If you're rocking with the content, smash that like button. Share this video with everyone you know. Make sure you watch until the end to hear the full story. All right, let's jump right into it. Janelle Tucker was born and raised in Worcester, Massachusetts. She was described as the sweetest girl who was peaceful, humble, and caring. Zanelle also had the outer beauty to match her inner beauty. She was a graduate of Burncoat High School, where she excelled artistically. Zanelle was extremely talented when it came to drawing, painting, or anything to do with art. She received a scholarship to attend college courses pertaining to her artistry. Zanelle's art was displayed at her high school and Clark University in Worcester. Zanelle also had a passion for singing and cooking. Zanelle was a doting mother, always putting her two boys first and loved caring for them. Zanelle's faith in God was important to her, and she attended church. Zanelle wanted to better herself in life and decided to move to Greensboro, North Carolina in 2018 to get a fresh start. But no one could imagine the tragedy that would take place just a year later. On Saturday, October 12, 2019, at 3:04 a.m. in Greensboro, North Carolina, police were dispatched to a physical altercation involving multiple people at an Exxon gas station on the 3000 block of Westgate City Boulevard. When officers arrived, witnesses said several people were fighting, and then they saw someone jump into a SUV and run over people in a crowd. Officers rendered aid until the first responders arrived at the scene. Multiple people were injured. 5 people were hospitalized. 2 of them had non-life-threatening injuries. 3 of them were in critical condition. And sadly, 1 woman was pronounced gone at the scene. That woman was 30-year-old Zanelle Tucker. And one of the people who were critically injured was Zanelle's cousin. Bystanders recorded the horrific and chaotic incident. The videos made their way around social media. Many people were disturbed by what they saw taking place. I myself could not watch it. It's absolutely horrendous. Law enforcement would go on to investigate the incident as a homicide. A short while after, Greensboro police announced they arrested 2 women, 28-year-old Miranda Watlington and 27-year-old Fanae Felton. The 2 women were charged with first-degree hit and 5 counts of attempted first-degree hit. They were scheduled for their first court appearance that following Monday. Emotions were very high during that appearance for Fanae and Miranda. The investigation revealed that Miranda was the driver of the SUV when it ran over the crowd. It was also revealed that Miranda seemed to be impaired at the time of the incident, having a strong odor of alcohol. She reportedly also refused a field sobriety test. Not only was Miranda facing the hit charges, but she also faced 3 other misdemeanors: a DWI, revoked license, and causing an accident, and 2 more felonies, ending someone's life with a vehicle and a hit and run. Miranda and Fanae are first cousins. Fanae's mother told reporters outside the courthouse that her daughter was not in the vehicle during the incident, even though she's the owner of the SUV. Although Fanae was not the one behind the wheel, Greensboro police said it's believed that she was in the vehicle and that she was charged because of her involvement in the incident. During the court hearing, Finney appeared on crutches and was emotional, crying when the judge read her charges. As for Miranda, some would say she appeared emotionless, not showing any remorse. Zanelle's father addressed the court, asking the defendants why did they take his daughter's life. Unfortunately, the judge would not allow for that question to be answered at that time. The women would be held without bail. Hours after the court hearing, Zanelle's family held a vigil at the gas station where she lost her life. A prayer was said for Zanelle, her cousin who was in ICU, and the other victims of the horrific incident. Family members came down all the way from Massachusetts to remember Zanelle and to be there for her cousin as she recovered from the traumatic night. There were mixed emotions felt throughout the crowd, as they were grateful that the others and Zanelle's cousin survived, but sadly still having to come to terms with the loss of Zanelle. The family lamented for her children that they now had to grow up without their mother. It was just heartbreaking. The family asked the community to show compassion. Details of what happened that night emerged on social platforms. Some people who claimed to have witnessed what happened said that the brawl all started over a minor car accident involving Finney's SUV and another vehicle. Allegedly, Finney sideswiped a car when she tried to drive through two cars that were parked at gas pumps. Supposedly, Finney was under the influence, and a person who was in the car she sideswiped told her they won't report the accident, but she has to pay for the damages. And that's when things went horribly left, and a fight broke out between Finney and the people in the other car. Supposedly, that's when Miranda jumped in to help Finney. Videos show the two women yelling and being punched by a group of people. Zanelle and her cousin were with Finney and Miranda and were actually trying to break up the fight and get everyone into their vehicles. Zanelle allegedly ended up suffering a blow to the temple, resulting in someone pulling her away from the altercation and positioning her up against a car. That's when supposedly Miranda jumped in the SUV and plowed into the crowd, running over Zanelle, her cousin, and the other victims, who were all supposedly trying to stop the fight. It was said that none of the people who were actually fighting the two women were the ones who suffered from Miranda's costly actions. Someone who claimed to know Finney and Miranda said that the women possibly suffered from mental illness. Their cognitive and decision-making skills may not have been where they should be. Supposedly, Miranda has always had temper problems, and both women have had prior run-ins with the law. According to what this person said, Miranda was being taunted by the individuals who they were in a fight with and was getting beat up pretty badly, and things escalated quickly. During a news interview days after the horrific incident, Finney and Miranda's mothers sent their apologies and condolences to Zanelle's family. The women said whatever happened that night was not worth it. They said some members of Zanelle's family embraced them. The mothers and families wanted to send a message about promoting peace and stopping the violence towards one another. The devastating tragedy was hard for all sides to process. Zanelle did not deserve to lose her life over such carelessness. She was actually trying to diffuse and bring peace to the situation. She was even called an angel trying to bring peace. Zanelle and her cousin were just out with friends wanting to have a good time. No one could have seen this coming. According to reports, Zanelle's cousin was making a steady recovery as a year went by after the incident. She talked about not knowing much about that night, except she was having fun with her cousin, and then she woke up in the hospital. She credits her children as her motivation to keep going. She talked about Zanelle and how much she missed her and wished she was still here. Because of the unforeseen events of 2020, Fanay and Miranda's court dates were postponed. Years later, the two women had their day in court in October 2022. They were found guilty on 11 of 16 charges in connection with Zanelle's passing. Miranda was found guilty of first-degree hit, and Fanay was found guilty of accessory after the fact. They were both found not guilty on the 5 counts of attempted hits. Miranda was sentenced to life without parole, and Fanay faces a minimum of 9.5 to 10 years in prison. Outside the courthouse, Fanay's mother and Miranda's aunt claimed that the two had tried to break up a fight and were jumped by a group of people. She said no one came to their rescue to help them. No one called the police. Everybody egged the fight on, but no one tried to stop it, she told a media outlet. Wow, fam. My sincerest and most heartfelt condolences to Zanelle's family and loved ones. Zanelle did not deserve to lose her life this way. She was down there in Greensboro trying to make a better life for herself and her children, to only lose her life so senselessly. I can't imagine the pain Zanelle's family has endured. No amount of time behind bars will bring Zanelle back. Miranda and Fanay's family can visit them and hear their voices. Fanay reportedly has children, but she has the opportunity to see them again. Zanelle's children and family are not as fortunate. This is a sad story all around. I just wonder if everyone would have simply just drove away and went their separate ways, avoiding all this. Would Zanelle still be here today? I wonder if they still believe the issue that night was worth all that transpired. Was there any way that situation could have ended peacefully? Tell me your thoughts on this tragic situation in the comments below. Again, my thoughts and prayers are with Zanelle's family. Alright fam, that's it for this episode of Hood Tales. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times, and I'm out.